Confessions of a Young Entrepreneur. As you know, back in 2002 I won the Ernst & Young Young Entrepreneur of the Year. And I've been in business now about 11 years, and I've learned quite a few things in that time, and some of those lessons have been pretty harsh. And I put together a product called Confessions of a Young Entrepreneur, 6 critical mistakes to avoid in business. Now, I'm going to give you 2 of those critical mistakes just now. And I picked out 2 that I think are probably my favourites, and probably the 2 that cost me the most money, and you can learn from this here and not make that same mistake in your business. So the first one I call ego. And this is, I'm the man, I'm the best, or head in the sand, or look, I know best and no one can tell me what to do. Now, how this transpired in my business, I'd been going along, and after 5 years we were doing pretty well. We'd made, like at one stage, a couple $100,000 in 4 months, and we were thinking, yep, we've got this whole business thing absolutely sussed. And then what happened was September 11 came along, and overnight, boof, just like that, our revenue that had been climbing at 20% a month on the previous year dropped to only 40% of the previous year's revenue for a whole 6 months. Now, the first lesson here, this one cost me $100,000 because I had my head in the sand and didn't respond to that challenge enough or quickly enough. So that's an important thing, is that you don't have an ego that's too big to think that, hey, I'm on the right path. You do need to be aware of what is around you. But then the big one here for me was later that, actually it was in 2002. Started to win some prize, won Deloitte Fast 50 awards, and started to think I was pretty cool. And then I won the Young Entrepreneur of the Year, and then my ego just went out of control to a whole new stratosphere. And I absolutely believed I was the man, and anything I touched would turn to gold. And then I proceeded to make a whole series of big balls-ups, basically, that cost me a whole lot of money in a very short space of time. Things like hiring far too many staff, getting too big a premises, investing poorly, and man, the list could go on. But I tell you what, it took me probably 3 months to really realise that if I didn't pull my head out of my arse, I was going to go broke. And I was just very grateful that I had some good people around me at that time that could keep me on front. But the thing is that I had to face up to that situation. If I hadn't, I would be broke. And as hard as that was, and as hard as it might be in your situation, you do need to face up to it. Because when you face up to it, then you can do something about it. Stop the bleeding and get on with rectifying that expensive lesson. And it's interesting, I see this in other people now who are just starting to get a little bit too big for their boots, and I try to caution them, but often that's a bit impossible. And it's basically people just lose touch. I know for me, I lost touch with my clients, who are the most important people really that bring the business, and I was just focused too internally in the business and not on my clients, the most valuable asset. So watch out for that. I'm not saying don't enter awards because it's a great thing for the business, but be prepared to listen to other people. At one stage as well, I was thinking, who knows my better business than me? No one else does. Besides I've got a triple degree and I'm the Young Entrepreneur of the Year. What could someone else tell me? Well, don't think that. There are other people out there that know a lot more than you on parts of your business. You're absolutely an expert in what you do in your product or service, but there's areas that you need to bring in outside help and do that. I mean, a lot of the people that you'll be hearing from and the access to Millionaire Minds, that's what they do. They love it. They will pay to get experts in because that gives them speed. So there you go. Watch out for ego. That's critical mistake number 1 with Confessions of a Young Entrepreneur.